Many of you on the Inject Facebook group have asked about how to turn on the trending searches on your fake Google page. Let me show you exactly where that is. Okay, so as we go into our fake Google page, all you do to toggle on and off the trending searches is you tap the 3x3 dot grid here in the upper right-hand corner, and you're going to tap Photos. Now, you notice that when I tapped Photos now, it basically turned off my trending searches. But if I tap the 3x3 grid again and I tap Photos again, it will turn it on. You only have to do this once. Your Google page will remember that these are your settings for your page. So the next time you visit your page again, your trending searches will appear. Here is the addendum to the Enhanced Inject manual, which is for the glitch effect. So now, as we scroll down the Enhanced Inject website, you'll notice that the last set of options is Extra Settings. When you open up Extra Settings, this is where you will find your custom text, where you can change, of course, your sign-in, your trending searches, your country for the footer. But the most exciting part of the Extra Settings is right here, where it says glitch. Now, we're going to start essentially reading this exactly as if it is a sentence. So first, it says here, glitch starts either enabled or disabled. By default, the glitch setting is set to disabled, which means that when you open up your fake Google page, the glitch effect actually will not be activated with any transmissions to inject. Now, in contrast, of course, if you select enabled, that means that now when you open up your fake Google page, by default, it will be enabled. Okay? So just to show you how you can set up a button on your fake Google page to either enable or disable the glitch effect, let's go ahead and do that right now. Let's set that up. So as we go up under the footer links, you'll notice that this is where you set up normally where all of the different links are going to work with Enhanced Inject. Now, what I have done is I've taken the toggle, which is for the dark theme, and I have actually attached it to glitch. Okay, let me show you what it is by default. Basically, by default, this is what it looks like. That whenever you tap on the dark theme, it enables either the dark mode or not. Now, you know that if you were to tap on the camera icon, that does the same thing in Enhanced Inject. So that's the reason why I highly recommend that you take the first toggle, which is the dark theme, and you simply set it to glitch. So you notice that on the left side is whenever this is enabled, that's the reason why it says dark theme enabled, and then on the right side is whenever it's disabled, and that's why here it says dark theme disabled. Now, if you wanted to go in and modify this so that it says glitch enabled or glitch disabled, you're welcome to do that. You can make this text on the left and the right be whatever text you like. Okay, so that's basically it. That is how you can set up an easy toggle on your fake Google page to turn on and off your glitch effect. So as we continue to now move through all of the settings for glitch, as we essentially read the sentence, the first variable says, wait these many seconds before it starts the glitch effect. Now, in my particular example here, I have set that to 0, and that's because I want the glitch effect to start immediately when it receives a transmission, either from any transmitter in Inject or when I use covert typing. Now, there's going to be some times where you want to change this to a certain number of seconds, like let's say 4 or 5 seconds, so that after a transmission is done, glitch will wait that many seconds before it actually starts the glitch animation. As we continue to read the sentence, and then it says, then blur for these many seconds. In this case, it's 2 seconds. Now, this is the beginning of the glitch effect where your screen blurs, okay? In a moment, we're going to see how you can even change the variables of that blur to make the blur either more extreme or less. And you can even change how the blur flickers, meaning it goes in and out of blur, the frequency of that blur. So that basically dictates for how long it's going to blur, and in this case, it's only 2 seconds. After the blur happens, the next thing that happens is that it flashes the screen. And in this case, you notice that it has simply been set to 2 seconds. That's going to be the flashing. And again, just like the previous, you can set these to be as long as you like, depending on how long you want this animation to happen when it comes to the flashing of the screen. And once again, the flashing effect can be edited. You can make it be in any color you like, and we're going to see that in a moment under the more glitch settings. So after the flashing happens, then you got glitch for these many seconds. The actual glitch effect is when you see kind of like the chromatic aberrations that happen around the text and how the Google logo tears apart and how the text starts randomly changing. And it's probably the funnest part of the glitch effect. And of course, that is the next item that's in the sequence over here, and that's happening for 2 seconds. Now, an important note to remember about any one of these variables is that if you were to set any of these to be 0, it means that it just obviously will not do that. So let's say you only wanted the screen to flash. You didn't want it to blur and you don't want it to glitch. Well, easy enough. You would just change the blur to be 0 seconds and you would change the glitch to be 0 seconds as well. And that means that now it will only flash the screen for the number of seconds that you have. Okay? And then even if you were to set all of these variables to be 0, the text on the screen is going to backspace out, meaning that whatever had been typed into the Google search field is going to backspace, and then it will actually type whatever is the reveal, which now leads us to the next set of variables over here. So it says here, then erase at 13 letters per second. This is indicating how fast the backspace is going to happen to delete all the characters that might have been typed there already in the Google search field. Then it says it's going to wait for a certain number of seconds before it actually starts typing, which is pretty self-explanatory. It's the delay before the type, and currently it's only at 1. Then it's going to type with a speed of 3 letters per second. Now, this is wonderful because this is going to make it seem like this is about the rate that somebody actually would type on a keyboard, and again, feel free to make this be as slow or as fast as you want, depending on the type of effect you want to create. And then finally, the last variable is finally wait for these many seconds before it actually redirects to the real Google for the final reveal. And I highly recommend that you put a number like 1 or 2 seconds here. And that's mainly because for your spectator to be able to register that final text that has been typed by the invisible forces or by the magic before it actually switches to the real Google for the final search. Okay, so that's essentially the settings. Now we get to the fun part of modifying these settings. Okay, starting from the top, colors. Glitch color 1, 2, and 3. These are the colors that you see as kind of like the chromatic aberrations that are around the perimeter of the main text and the logo when the glitch effect takes place. Now, these, by default, are red, green, and blue. Feel free to change these colors to be whatever you like. So, for example, if I wanted the glitch color to be something more like a purple, then boom, you just select the purple color and you're done. Okay, now it's been set to purple. Okay, so if, let's say, for example, you're performing during St. Patrick's Day and you want a theme to be kind of greenish, then you can easily just go in here and take all of these glitch colors and make them some offshoot of green. So I can change this. This is going to be maybe perhaps a lighter green. And then on the last one, let's make that be another shade of green that could be a little darker here like that. Okay, that means that now it's going to be all these different greens that are going to be around the perimeter of the text as it's glitching. And then finally, flash overlay color. This is the color that is actually the color that takes over the entire screen when it's flashing. Now, by default, that color is black. That means that it is going to essentially flash between white and black. And this is very, very dramatic because it's really hard to ignore the screen kind of like, blinking on and off. And that's the reason why it defaults to black. But if you were to go in here and change this to be white, Okay, like let's say by doing that. Okay, what that now means is that you can actually even go here and set it to be white. It actually makes the flashing happen in black and white, which is pretty cool. Makes your screen look like it became black and white. Okay, but I like to actually keep it on black, so I'll just go ahead and do this. And also feel free to go in here and change these values by typing them in. So if I know beyond a shadow of a doubt that I really just want black, 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 I type in a bunch of zeros and we're all set. Okay? If you wanted that to be white, these are hexadecimal values for color. So for white, it'd be F, 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 F. Okay? And so therefore, that would dictate a white color, which does do the black and white effect. Advanced. Blur frequency. We were talking about how the blur can be changed. This is the rate at which the blur goes in and out. And currently, the blur has been set to have a pretty low frequency of 3 times a second. So if you want to create a very eerie kind of slow blur, then you can change this to be as low as 1 or 2 times per second, and it makes it seem like it's blurring that much. Flash frequency is, of course, the same idea and how quickly the flashing happens on the screen. For this, we recommend a higher number because we want there to be kind of like this sporadic, glitching kind of flashing as if your phone is freaking out. So it's a good idea to keep this at a relatively high number. But again, if you want to create a slower kind of an effect of flash, you're welcome to do that. You can change that. The maximum blur radius, this is a number which is in pixels, and this dictates how much the blur effect is going to be. So if you want a very dramatic amount of blurring, of course, you would change this to be a higher number, like 10 or 20, and that would give you a lot of blur, And again, you're welcome to experiment with that to get exactly what you want. Random typing up to 13 milliseconds. Okay, this is probably one of my favorite variables in the glitch effect. This dictates how random the delay is as the ghost in the glitch effect is going from one character to the other. So imagine if there was somebody that was actually typing on your keyboard, the rate at which they would type each character would not be consistent. There would be somewhat of a change that's from one character to the other. And the higher this number is, it changes how the frequency of that is going to be changed. So that it's adding a little bit of randomness in the time delay from one character to the other as it's typing. And then glitch thumped URLs. Okay, we highly, highly recommend that you keep this off. What that means is that in Inject, whenever you transmit a URL to Inject, we don't want your fake Google page to glitch just before it switches to a URL. This specifically holds true when you're performing the YouTube effect in Inject, so that when you are transmitting a YouTube video, it doesn't make any sense for your receiver to essentially go through a glitch before it reveals the YouTube video. It makes sense that it would just simply transition directly to the URL that's been transmitted. And in the case of YouTube video, it'd be a YouTube video, right? So that's why we recommend that you keep that off. But if there is some kind of an application that you have where you want to transmit a URL to Inject and you do want to have it glitch, then of course you can go in here and override that and just simply turn that on and it will be on. Okay? So, vibration. This is wonderful, and it is on Android only. We're very, very sorry that this does not work on iOS, and it's mainly because iOS limits websites in controlling the vibration motor. But thank goodness Android actually does support it. So what the vibration features in Enhanced Inject are vibrate while blurring. So that's currently on. In fact, by default, all of these are on. So when the blur happens, there's a little bit of vibration that happens. Vibrate when flashing, of course, again, self-explanatory. These flashing effects are going to be perfectly in sync with the screen actually flashing. So someone who's holding an Android phone has a tactile feedback. They can feel their phone exactly vibrating with the way that the visuals on the screen are happening. And this produces a very eerie effect, almost as if, their phone is freaking out, physical kind of a way too, right? And then finally, vibrate while typing. So by default, whenever you type on the keyboard of smartphones, there's a little bit of a haptic feedback where the phone vibrates just a little bit, and that's exactly what that does. And so when you have that on, for every key that's pressed on the keyboard, there'll be a little vibration feedback. So that's pretty much it. Those are all of the settings for Enhanced Inject. So once you've set this the way that you like it, the way that you're going to actually implement your changes in your settings in Inject is you click on the Save and Generate the Code button down at the bottom here. So Enhanced Inject now will generate your code. As you can see right at the bottom here, it says tap the code below to copy it. So all you do now is just tap that code. Up on the top, it tells you the code was copied to your clipboard, which means now you could switch over to your Inject settings. We're going to do a left swipe on Google Peek, choose Edit, and now here, when you tap into the default search text field, I usually hit the backspace button just once, and that starts erasing from all the way at the end of your text. Now, another thing that's fun over here is that if you were to tap on the screen, it will give you the option of select all. Once all of the text, which is all of the code, has been selected, then you can just tap on the paste button, which means that now the new code that you had generated in Enhanced Inject has been pasted into your default search text. And now when you hit the back button, you're done. You are now ready to perform. So just so that you could see what this effect actually is like, I'm going to switch over to a browser here just for a quick moment. Okay, let's open up a new page. And let's go to our Inject fake Google page. And I'm going to set the timer option over here just for it to be like about 8 seconds so that it will very quickly jump into the glitch effect. Okay, so here we go. Now, in this case, we want the glitch just to arrive here on the Google page. And so now you'll notice that once that timer is expired, the glitch effect starts. You can see that the perimeter of our text now is in green, and that's because we had actually set it to be green. And you can see here that whatever was my last transmission into Inject, which in this particular case was define your, has been revealed now as the final reveal. Okay, let's try that one more time, but this time let's actually transmit whatever we want into Inject, so that's going to be essentially our final reveal. And let's say that what we want to reveal is going to be rabbit. Okay, there we go. We hit search, and of course, there's rabbit. Okay, so that is the last transmission that was in Inject. And we're going to try this one more time. And the reason why I want to show this to you again is just because I want you to notice all of the different indicators that show you when the glitch effect actually is about to start. So let's go back. This time we're going to set the timer to be on just about 13 seconds. The fake Google page can receive transmissions in any mode. In this case, I'm going to select the Images tab. Now, when I look at the word all, you'll notice there's a little period that appears there, and that period appears 4 seconds prior to the glitch effect starting. Okay, so always when you're performing with the glitch effect, keep your eyes on the word all in the upper left-hand corner. And of course, now it revealed rabbit. So let's try this again. Now, sometimes when you're performing with the glitch effect, you will be doing it where the spectator actually is in this part of Google, where now you see the blue back arrow has a little dot, black dot that appears there. And now this is where the glitch effect happens. Now you notice that the glitch effect is happening here on the website, while the keyboard does not get the glitch effect. To stop that from happening, here's what I recommend. Let's go back to our fake Google page, and we're going to set this up to start, like, let's say in about 14 seconds. All right. So now let's say I want my reveal to be this time actually on Amazon, right? That's why I just selected Amazon. And now when I go into here, you'll notice the blue arrow, a little black thing there. And notice that this time around, I just hit the done button on the keyboard. That means that just by simply tapping done, it's going to get rid of the keyboard, so a larger part of the screen will glitch. which is exactly what we want. We want as much of the real estate of the screen to glitch as possible. And then one last time, we're going to show you how the hide toolbar is going to be another way of maximizing the real estate. Okay, let's set that up to be on 12 seconds. Here we go. And we're going to tap the AA here in the lower left-hand corner and choose Hide Toolbar. And now that makes the URL appear really tiny at the bottom of the screen. And so now the glitch effect is almost the entire screen, which is great. And once again, there it goes, revealing rabbit. And these, what I just showed you, are all of the amazing features that are in the new glitch effect. We would now like to take you through some of the typical scenarios of how the glitch effect can be used with Inject and Realist. So first, we're going to start out with the most basic way of using the glitch effect, which is with the timed reception function in Inject. So we're going to go to our fake Google page. And you notice that when you want to type the address here, all you want to do is end your address with a single quote. And after the single quote, you can add the number of seconds that's going to be for the delay before the glitch effect or the transition happens. So now in this particular case, I'm going to leave it at the default, which means it's going to be at 30 seconds. So now the page opens. At this point, you can ask your spectator to actually type something into the Google search field. So if I was to type over here, what am I thinking? Okay, there we go. Then obviously that is what's been typed. Now remember, what we're doing right now is as we perform this, we're looking at the little dot that appears right underneath all. The last transmission was the word rabbit, and now there it goes into the glitch effect. And this is all happening because of the timed reception that has been activated with that single quote character in the URL. Okay? So that is one way of activating the glitch effect. The second way that you can activate the glitch effect is by using covert typing. So the way you set up covert typing is in Inject. You'll notice that when you do a left swipe, you could choose Edit. And so now under covert typing text, you could see that I've already set up what am I thinking of. Feel free to make this covert typing text be whatever you like. So if it's during Halloween and you want to present the glitch effect as the ghosts typing on your spectator's phone, then the covert typing text could be, who are these dead spirits? Or who is this dead spirit with us? Be creative and make the covert typing text whatever you like. In this case, what am I thinking of? Okay? So now once that's been set up, as we go back to our browser, let's go back to our fake Google page. And here, to do covert typing, all you're going to do is start by typing QP. Now, you notice that when you do type QP, what is truly typed here at the top is WH, which are the first two letters of the word what. So now we can type in anything we want. So let's say your spectator whispers in your ear the word magician. So now watch what I'm doing. If you look at the keyboard, I'm actually typing the word magician. But at the top, it's typing what am I? Then that's because the covert typing has been activated by you first typing QP. To finish your covert typing, you must type QM. The moment that you type QM, a 25-second timer has been activated, which means that's when it actually is going to transition to the glitch effect. And now you can just freely type some of the other characters to finish off whatever is the sentence that you had, which is what am I thinking of. Now I'm going to hit the done button over here. And in fact, if you like, you can even hit the back button and you can see that you got the little period there. And so now when the glitch starts, which is right now, first the flashing, then the glitching. And now if you look at what it says, what am I thinking? It backspaces out of that text and it replaces it now with whatever you had covert typed, which is the word magician. Okay? Which is just awesome. All right. So that is now the second way that you can activate your glitch effect. The final way of activating glitch is when you use any remote transmitter into Inject. This transmitter can either be a swipe transmitter, which you're using from inside of your pocket. It can be an accomplice that can be typing in whatever your spectator wants. Anything that transmits into the Inject world can essentially be your transmitter. So to show you how that works, we're just going to go ahead and type in our fake Google page. Okay, there's no need to modify the URL in any way. Now, in this case, I'm going to go ahead and change this to be an image receiver. Now, on my transmitter, I have already set up the word Houdini to be the transmission. And the moment that I activate that transmission, which is right now, look what just happened. There it goes. It starts doing the flashing and the glitching. And now it will slowly reveal the word Houdini right there. And because this was an image search, of course, we now have a Google image search of Houdini. Hi, Sadi. Hi. Sadi, have you ever had Google read your mind?
No.
No? Okay, now it's going to really freak you out and it's really fun. So all you got to do is just on your phone, do a search for Google Stats. So you can either type in as one word or two words. Yeah, there it is, the first link right there. Go ahead and select the first link. Okay, now this is the famous site from Google that shows you all the popular searches, right? So I want you to scroll all the way to the bottom of the page. You're going to notice the first category there that says music. Actually, to the left, yeah, music there. Perfect. This is the top 100 songs from all time. Okay, so now I'm going to give you a choice. Music is a category that you and I have done before, okay? But you saw how at the bottom of the page there's a lot of different topics, right?
Yeah.
So now I want you to scroll all the way to the bottom of the page, just like before, and take a look at all these different categories. Now, I'm not going to look. I want you to select any category that you like other than music, okay? But don't tell me which category you're selecting.
Okay, I picked it.
Okay, so you picked the category already?
Yep.
Okay, now, since this is just, popular searches that are, the top 100 of anything that you've selected, give me a random number between 1 and 100.
73.
73. Now, of course, there's no way that I could have known that you're going to say your number, right?
No.
Okay, so now, whatever topic you're on, go down until you get to your number, 73, and see what that is. And once again, do not tell me whatever it is that you see at your number.
Okay.
Okay, so you see whatever this thing is, that's at number 73?
Yeah.
Okay, now there's obviously no way for me to know what that is because I have no idea what topic you selected. And of course, I don't have any of these topics memorized, right?
Yeah.
So now I want you to scroll all the way to the bottom of the page. Okay, so at the bottom of the page, I can turn around now because I can't see the list anymore, right? Okay, you see there's a link there for Google. Go ahead and select that link. Okay, it's going to take you, obviously, to google.com, all right? So I want you to hold your phone just like this, and then tap images right at the top there. See what it says, the images tab at the top? Okay, I'm going to take this thought that's in your mind right now, watch, as if it's just a little morsel of thought, right? Imagine whatever it is you're thinking of right at the tip of my fingers, and I'm going to place it right over here. Oh my gosh. Whoa. Son, were you thinking about Julia Roberts? I didn't know anything. How does Google know you're thinking about Julia Roberts? See, that's why next time, all you got to do is just do this little thing there. You'll be all set. Google will know you're thinking of.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Method.
First, on your phone, you're going to need Realist. Yes, Realist from Rostami Magic. And as you can see here on the screen, the only thing you have to do is launch Realist. So here we go. Once Realist has been launched, you'll notice that because I had set the settings for it to automatically go into the transmission or the thumper screen, that's exactly what I got. And all I do is I look at the top of the screen where it says that video games is currently my pairing topic. That's the only thing I did. I just launched Realist and I take my phone and put it in my pocket. And that's it. That's the only bit of work that you've got to do. So on your spectator's phone, you're going to ask them to go to any browser. And in this case, this is Safari on an iPhone. So just ask them to do a quick Google search for Google Stats. Now, they can either type it in as one word or 2 words. It really doesn't matter. So I'll go ahead and do a quick search here for the word Google Stats. And you can see I've searched for it before. And usually Google Stats will appear either as the first, second, or the third item that pops up in a Google search, which is great. It makes it seem very, very legitimate, right? So now you tell them to go ahead and click on Google Stats. Now remember, throughout this whole routine, you are never touching their phone, okay? So now when they arrive at Google Stats, all of the trending topics that you currently see on the screen are the trending stories and topics for your country. Now, this is amazing because once again, it adds an air of legitimacy to your performance. So now just go ahead and ask them to scroll down to the bottom of the page. And because you had seen already that on Realist, your pairing topic is video games, just click on video games. And the moment that you do, when the spectator goes to video games, you'll feel a slight vibration on your phone in your pocket. Okay, that means that now you are paired with that spectator. Now, if there are several spectators that are watching your performance at the same time, and if all of them are following your instructions, then all of them will see basically the page, obviously the Google Stats page, and when they select the video games topic, all of your spectators will be paired with your phone. Okay, so now when they arrive at the video games topic, you say to them, you know what, this is showing you the top 100 video games of all time, but you know, video games is like my favorite topic, but let's try something that you want, okay? This is gonna be your choice. So please scroll down and choose from any one of the topics that are at the bottom of the page under recently trending topics. Just please don't tell me, you know, who or which topic it is that you're selecting. So now you turn away from your spectators, you make sure that they know that you can't see anything that they're doing on their phone. And so let's say, for example, the spectator selects animals, right? Now remember, you don't know that because you currently have no input at all, right? So now you say to them, whatever topic you've selected, we're going to select a random item in that topic. So let's say, give me a number between 1 and 100. So the spectator says, I don't know, how about 44? Right? So now in your pocket, you're going to be using the clock swipe method to input the number 44. So here I go. We're going to swipe that up, swipe, swipe. So in only 4 swipes, I have now communicated the number 44. And in my pocket, I can feel a slight vibration that's feedback to me that the transmission has been successful. So now the spectator scrolls down, and on item number 44, they're going to see the force item, which is for the topic of animals. And in this case, by default, is chinchilla. Okay, so now you ask them to look at that animal. You say, yeah, you know, are you familiar with this animal? And they obviously say yes. And of course, you can customize Realist for it to be anything you want in any one of these topics. So now you say to them, great. I want you to really remember this animal, and this is going to be your thought. And it's very special, your thought, because in a moment, we're going to ask Google to read your mind. So now you ask them to scroll all the way to the bottom of the page, and for them to click on the Google link that appears at the bottom of the page. So now they go ahead and do that. They click on Google and you say, yeah, you know, just click on Google. They'll take you to google.com. So now here they are on google.com, right? So now usually I ask the spectator to tap the images tab at the top because we want the result to be in images. Now remember, the phone is in their hand. You have never touched their phone. And now as you're looking at their screen, you're waiting for the little period to appear next to the word all. Okay, and there is a 30-second timer that has now been activated for it to do that. And I see the period right now, and now watch what happens. 3, 2, 1, and you gesture. And when you gesture, suddenly their phone starts to freak out and glitch as it's going through all the things that the Enhanced Inject glitch effect does. And on the screen, you're going to see that it's going to slowly type chinchilla. And as you kind of like pantomime a typing gesture with your fingers, and suddenly their phone now has just revealed chinchilla. Okay, which just seems amazing to your spectators because 2 magical things have happened. First, their phone, without you ever touching it, just suddenly started freaking out, right? Point number 1. Point number two is their phone was actually able to read their mind. They understand that they never said a word, right? Here's usually the pattern that I give to my spectators right before the phone changes to their reveal. I say to them, whatever this thing is that you're thinking of right now, did you tell anybody what that is? They say no. Did you ever write it down? No. Did you ever type it in anything? No. You never wrote it down, you never typed it, you never told anyone anything. That means you're the only one that knows what this thought is. Is that correct? Would you agree with that? And of course, all those statements are true. So it's impossible for me to know what it is. And so when suddenly Google reveals that they're thinking of chinchilla, it is just amazing. And the main reason why this is such a fooling effect is because the spectator does not know that you can remotely pair with their phone, and they don't know that from inside of your pocket, you can actually transmit a force item to the spectator's phone. Because they think they're just randomly selecting a number, and it's impossible for you to have been able to predict or know what that number is. And that's all the exciting things that you can do with the new pairing between Realist and Inject. I hope you enjoy this. We've had a lot of fun creating this tool. We are super proud of it, and I think you guys are going to get a lot of mileage out of it, and it's just going to blow away your spectators. Thank you very much.
Now, let's take a look at how you can use the glitch effect along with Realist so that you can perform on your spectator's phone without ever touching their phone, and for their phone to glitch to reveal whatever they were thinking of in Realist. Here's how that works. In Realist, touch the hamburger menu in the upper left-hand corner and go to Settings. Now here, when you scroll down, where it says your link text and your link URL, make sure that your link URL says https://google.cm, that's google.cm/ your inject ID, in this case it's number 2, and then we're going to finish it with a single quote character. So that single quote character, as you remember what I just taught you a moment ago, is for the timer effect. Okay, so once that's been set, you're all set. Some of the other things that I have here for the link text is I've set up statsbygoogle.com, which is the text that will appear at the bottom of the Google Stats website. And I even have a link image URL, which is in this particular case, google-stats.com/glogo.png. And this URL is nothing more than the Google logo that will appear at the bottom of the Realist page, or the Google Stats page. So now, once you got that set up, you're ready to perform. So here's the way that the performance happens. You would ask your spectator to essentially go to any browser on their phone and to do a search for Google Stats. Once your spectator goes to the Google Stats page, you're first going to ask them to select whatever is the topic that had shown up for your pairing topic. So let's say, for example, that topic is actors. Okay? When you do select actors, you are now paired with that spectator because that is what had shown up for your transmitter page. And so now you say to your spectator, they can either stay in the actors topic or they can scroll down to the bottom of the page and choose from any of the other topics that are all the way at the bottom. And you turn away while your spectator chooses any topic they like. So let's say, for example, the spectator chooses household. Now remember, you do not know that they have selected household. Now in this case, the next thing you do is you ask them for any number between 1 and 100. And your spectator, let's say, for example, says 45. So now in your pocket, you're going to be essentially transmitting the number 45. Now here, I'm going to be doing it using the scroll input method, but basically from your pocket, you'd be doing the traditional clock swiping and you'd be entering the number 45. So now, because of that google.cm that you had set up in the link URL, Realist has now transmitted whatever was the force item for household, which happens to be dictionary, to Inject. So now, you ask the spectator to go down to item number 45 and to remember whatever they see there. And there it is. We already know it's going to be dictionary. Now remember, the magician performing this does not know the topic that the spectator has selected. Okay? Because remember, all you have is just your phone in your pocket with the swipe transmitter that's going, and you've already input the number 45. So now instruct your spectator to scroll all the way to the bottom of the page and for them to click on the Google link at the bottom. So now this opens our beloved fake Google page. Usually at this point, I'll have them tap the images at the top of the screen, mainly because I want the reveal to be an image search in Google in contrast to just a generic all Google search. So at this point, as I'm gesturing and talking, I'm looking at the word all here in the upper left-hand corner on the spectator's phone that I've never touched, and there's the period, which means it's the 4-second countdown, 2, 1, and there it goes. So there it goes, glitching away on the spectator's phone without you ever touching it. And it slowly types out the word dictionary, which is what they had seen in their topic. And it just immediately switches over to a real image Google search of dictionary. Now, at this point, if you wanted to walk away from your spectator, where the spectator can basically examine their phone as much as they like, the first thing that you'll notice is that if the spectator hits the back button, they're going to just go back to the Google Stats page, right? But on your phone, meaning on the magician's phone, what I highly recommend that you do is go to your Inject account, go to your settings, and simply turn off your Inject account. And what that does now is that now when you go back to the Google Stats page, if they were to scroll down to the bottom of the page and they were to select the Google link again, guess what happens? It just goes to therealgoogle.com. Okay? So it's no longer going to go to your fake Google page. And those are all the different ways that you can perform the glitch effect.